Time for a video, a movie review. Yeah, it's been a while. I'm going to review another 1961 movie. This is called La Notte. In English, that's called The Night. It's in black and white, and it's directed by Michelangelo Antonioni. He's one of those Italian directors offering new wave type cinema, along with Bernardo Bertolucci and Federico Fellini, all geniuses from this period of cinema. La Notte took some time to grasp this. I took some time to grasp the subtlety of this particular movie, and let's have a little look at the plot. The characters, they were quite what I described as chiseled, and took some time for me to acquire a certain pleasure in seeing them. The plot, well, there isn't too much of one of those. Lydia and Giovanni have arrived at the hospital to see one of their close friends, Thomas Cerny Tommaso, who's dying. And Giovanni's a writer, and he knows Tommaso through work. The character Giovanni is played by Maestro Mastroianni, very famous Italian actor. The initial scenes are powerful, affecting Lydia significantly, and she has to leave the pain of friend's pending mortality too much for her. She leaves alone. Giovanni remains there, and later he leaves his friend's room, and a sick and uninhibited young woman attempts to seduce him, and he goes into her room and reciprocates. They are interrupted by the nurses, and the scene was actually censored by the Italian Board of Cinema Censors. As I say, this wasn't on the copy that I actually watched, but I obviously found out this information when I explored the details of the film. So outside the hospital, Giovanni sees his wife crying, but he doesn't comfort her, and as they drive off, he tells her about his unpleasant encounter with a sick woman, and is surprised when Lydia is not fooled and dismisses the incident as his responsibility. This scene was also cut. The film then resumed, though, on the streets of Milan. We see Lydia walking in the streets in a neighbourhood she and Giovanni met many years previously, and Lydia then witnesses a fight between two youths. She intervenes to prevent one of them getting a serious beating, and we surmise that crime and violence has become the norm in that part of Milan. She's very much a vulnerable character, Lydia, who doesn't enjoy conflict or violence at all. Giovanni later collects her following a phone call, and the film moves on then, and Giovanni is much more matter of fact than his wife, and takes things in his stride, and we see this quite clearly. We see them later in the evening, and they go to a nightclub which has performers. There's an extremely attractive negress, and she's dancing with her in a very sexual way with her black male friend. It's a very talented and creative piece in this movie, a very aerobatic show. And Lydia gets bored, however, and suggests that they move on to Giovanni's surprise. They then move on to a party, and this is a party where Milan's who's who are present. And we see the couple separate early on and start to get interested in others present. Giovanni starts to become very keen on the attention of Valentina, who's played by Monica Vitti, the host's lively, charming daughter. She's younger than Lydia and certainly dressed very sexually. Lydia is followed by a mysterious male who shows interest, and it's reciprocated to some extent by Lydia. But she seems quite at ease with Giovanni's indulgences with Valentini. Anyway, the use of the camera is particularly interesting here. The direction and the close-ups, very much used by Antonioni, and very effective they are here. He uses the importance of shadow in the night, and it's very much an influence from the great Alfred Hitchcock, Long Fields of Focus, for example. The characters come alive when they flirt with the strangers, and as dawn appears, Lydia confesses to Giovanni that she feels that their love and marriage is coming to an end. She reads a poem to Giovanni at the end that's symbolic of love dissolving. Giovanni asks her who wrote that, and she tells him that it was him. And then we see the closing credits. This is regarded as one of Antonio's best films, and I can see the appeal, but it just looks and feels very long and takes a while to get going. Perhaps I need to revisit this film. The characters to an extent lacked emotion, and I'll be interested in any comments from my viewers about the movie. What did you think about it? Now, overall then, I'm glad I saw this movie. The subtitles didn't really affect me that much. Of course, we will have a slide now showing you who was in this movie, and also some details about awards. So that's my take then on the Notte, released in 1961 and directed by Michelangelo Antonioni.